Evan Osnos, Age of Ambition, Chasing Fortune, Truth, and Faith in the New China. Embark on a journey through the mesmerizing and complex world of modern China in Evan Osnos' Age of Ambition, Chasing Fortune, Truth, and Faith in the New China. This book's summary explores the country's incredible rise to economic domination, delving into the why and how behind this rapid transformation. Discover China's attempts to modernize its economy and the ambitious drive of its people, fueled by the barehanded of fortune. Learn about the challenges brought by income disparities and the government's struggle to maintain control and censorship in an era of the internet and increasing individualism.
China's unstoppable economic growth. The phenomenal rise of the Chinese economy is a tale of sheer determination and adept strategy. In just a few decades, China has transformed from a struggling nation to an economic powerhouse with consistent and rapid growth. With an average GDP growth rate of 8% over the last 30 years, China's economy has doubled in size roughly every 7 to 8 years, making it the fastest-growing economy in the world. From 1989 to 2014, it outperformed even the United States, achieving an annual GDP growth rate of 9% compared to the United States' 3%. This economic surge has led to an impressive increase in per capita income, from a meager $200 in 1978 to $6,000 today, a 30-fold jump. Alongside this, China's role in global export markets has grown exponentially. In 1999, China ranked 9th in the world for exports. Just 10 years later, it claimed the top spot. The big question now is, what factors have driven China's astonishing economic boom? China's revolutionary economic shift. In the 1950s, China faced poverty and struggled to increase its per capita income. Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward in 1958 aimed to modernize the economy through massive industrialization but failed, leading to a devastating famine and millions of deaths. Out of desperation, 18 farmers from Shaojiang village devised a secret plan to divide the collective land and cultivate it separately, selling surplus produce for profit. This model became successful and was gradually adopted by 800 million Chinese farmers from 1979 onwards, boosting China's GDP. Subsequently, leader Deng Xiaoping expanded freedoms to start private businesses across various sectors, resulting in China's economic boom. Embracing China's barehanded fortune. The Cultural Revolution in China aimed to establish a state of total equality, but with the advent of the free market, people's ambitions began to flourish, giving rise to countless success stories. The barehanded fortune, China's version of the American dream, reflects their fierce determination to grow wealthy through hard work. One such rags-to-riches story is Gong Haiyan, who founded a dating site that became China's largest, earning her $80 million. Numerous self-made millionaires in China started with little education, and now invest in prestigious education opportunities for their children, especially in American high schools and colleges. As a result, the Chinese government has doubled the number of colleges and high schools in just a decade to meet the soaring demand. China's unequal prosperity. Contrary to the belief of endless possibility through hard work in China, the nation experiences a massive income disparity and unequal opportunities. The divide between affluent cities and impoverished provinces is stark, and social connections play a significant role in determining career opportunities. Public discontent arises in the form of protests and riots as a result of this inequality. Addressing these disparities is an ongoing challenge faced by both the Chinese state and its citizens. In today's China, many success stories created the illusion that anyone could achieve the American dream with determination and effort. However, this belief turned out to be overly positive. The People's Republic of China is witnessing unprecedented wealth, but income disparities and life expectancy gaps are also at enormity. China's income inequality is exemplified by the stark contrast between the nation's richest cities and its poorest provinces, a gap as wide as the one between the United States and Ghana. To paint a picture, in 2007, the top 10% of urban Chinese earned 9.2 times more than the poorest 10%. In practice, this means that an average Chinese citizen would need to combine their entire income with 8 to 10 other people for a full year just to buy an average city apartment. Such income disparities heavily influence the lives and opportunities of Chinese citizens. Studies by scholars Yinxiang Zhang and Tor Erickson revealed that the primary determinant of a Chinese child's career path is their parents' social connections. This means that children from average worker families will likely struggle to achieve social and economic mobility, regardless of their education. This lack of equal opportunity is becoming more evident. Surveys of China's emerging middle class indicate a growing unhappiness, resulting in public unrest shown by protests and riots. Between 2004 and 2009, incidents of rebellion doubled to nearly 500 per day. The road to widespread economic prosperity in China is still not evenly distributed. Addressing the disruptions brought by this inequality requires both the efforts of the Chinese state and its determined citizens. The dark side of China's constitution. China's constitution promises freedom of speech and press to its citizens, but the ruling Communist Party isn't beholden to it, allowing for widespread civil rights abuses. Activists like Liu Xiaobo and Chen Guangcheng have been arrested and imprisoned on dubious charges for advocating civil rights and opposing the government's policies. Furthermore, even peaceful protests, such as the Chinese Jasmine Revolution in 2011, have been met with brutal force, arrests, and disappearances of dissidents, highlighting the stark divide between the freedoms the Chinese constitution claims to protect and the actual experiences of its citizens. China's invisible media authority. The Central Publicity Department is the hidden force behind China's media control system, despite not officially existing. Responsible for directing the country's press, film, and television, the department ensures only content aligning with its agenda is propagated. The Central Publicity Department's influence reaches far and wide, with even beauty pageants and amusement parks falling under its scrutiny. Over the years, the department has increasingly refined and expanded its strategies, now becoming a sophisticated institution operating discreetly in the background of China's media landscape. With public scrutiny being limited, many remain unaware of the Central Publicity Department's existence and influence. The department maintains its secretive nature by operating in the background and withholding any official acknowledgement of its central offices. Even so, the Central Publicity Department exercises significant control over China's media, claiming authority over thousands of news publications, films, and TV programs. Chief media representatives from around China must attend weekly gatherings at the department's headquarters, receiving instructions on how to tackle news for the coming days. This tight control was evident in 2003, when local newspaper editors had to publish stories presenting the SARS epidemic in a reassuring light, without causing any panic or criticism. Historically, the Central Publicity Department had the authority to ban terms like totalitarianism in any research related to China's political system. This power also extended to prohibiting books, films, dismissing editors, and scrutinizing various events and venues. As the department remains committed to growth, it has adopted more sophisticated techniques, studying American PR specialists like political scientist Harold Lasswell, international companies, and foreign governments. The Central Publicity Department has amassed such considerable size that it is estimated to have one propaganda officer for every 100 Chinese citizens today. Subverting Internet censorship. Although the Chinese government exerts significant control over traditional media, it struggles to do the same with the Internet. By blocking international news sources and using ushers of public opinion to derail unwanted conversations, the party attempts to regulate online information exchange. However, its efforts fall short as people find ways to access blocked sites, evade digital filters, and publish content without government approval, enabling the spread of diverse ideas and information at an unprecedented scale. In China, the Central Publicity Department plays a major role in regulating traditional media, but the Internet is a beast not so easily tamed. Attempting to maintain control, the party has blocked access to influential international news sources like the New York Times and Facebook. Meanwhile, China's version of Google, Baidu, automatically filters out search results featuring politically sensitive terms. Furthermore, the department actively participates in online political discourse. By employing individuals known as ushers of public opinion to infiltrate social networks and discussion boards, they aim to halt the flow of undesirable ideas. These ushers sway conversations in desired directions, often by provoking emotional responses and distracting participants. But the internet continues to break through the barriers set by the Chinese government. People have found techniques for unblocking sites like Facebook and bypassing digital filters by creatively altering their search terms. This digital landscape also empowers users to publish content without governmental approval, allowing the rapid spread of ideas before censors can intervene. A notable example of this defiance was seen through the numerous blog posts by renowned dissident artist Ai Weiwei. His followers shared his content before government officials could shut down or delete his blogs in 2009. Despite the state's determined efforts to restrict the flow of information and stifle public opinion, the internet remains a space where ideas and information can be exchanged on a vast scale, challenging the party's stronghold on Chinese media. Exposing propaganda online. The internet has equipped everyday individuals with the means to identify and debunk the party's propaganda tactics. Vigilant bloggers frequently spot doctored photos or staged photo ops, such as official visits to low-income families featuring affluent civil servants instead. The internet also allows users to witness censorship firsthand, as they watch posts disappear or be manipulated in real time. Although these exposures undermine the party's credibility and spark outrage, openly criticizing the government remains a risky venture in China. In today's digital age, internet users are joining forces to combat the spread of misinformation and government propaganda. One of their weapon of choice. Blogs, where they frequently call out altered images, like official photos enhanced to make crowds look bigger or officials more imposing. A notable example was President Hu Jintao's staged photo op with a supposedly low-income family, which was debunked when bloggers revealed the mother was actually an affluent civil servant. Similarly, a news report featuring a clip from Top Gun as China's newest fighter jet was mocked after being exposed by an attentive blogger. The internet also serves as a platform to witness censorship in action. People can observe altered or deleted posts with a simple click of the refresh button. When censorship orders leak, they often end up on international websites that are beyond the control of the Chinese censors. However, while the exposure of these manipulations damage the party's credibility, the dangers of criticizing the Chinese government remain all too real. Thriving economy, blooming corruption. The rapid economic growth witnessed in China is closely linked to its authoritarian governance. Government officials find abundant opportunities to benefit from this progress as corruption proliferates throughout the system. Since the introduction of private ownership of land and factories, bribes have increased significantly, with public servants successfully enriching themselves through unethical practices. Although proving bribery is challenging, the shady wealth accumulation of both government institutions and individual politicians serves as a strong indicator. Despite strict political control over various aspects of life, the Chinese people remain determined to assert their autonomy and make their own choices. China's striking economic boom coexists with its strict, authoritative government. Intriguingly, these two phenomena are interrelated. The thriving economy fuels a significant rise in corruption among public officials, who leverage the situation to their advantage. The seeds of corruption were sown when private ownership of land and factories was introduced in 1992, and distribution of capital to investors opened up. Consequently, officials found lucrative opportunities to obtain bribes for granting licenses to private businesses. The first year of privatization saw the average bribe soaring from $2,000 to $6,000. Demonstrating bribery remains a challenge, but there's ample evidence suggesting the widespread prevalence of corruption among public servants. Curiously, the headquarters of China's National Development and Reform Commission is encircled by gift shops, visited by countless citizens. These citizens enter the premises bearing gifts, only to leave empty-handed, while public servants unwittingly exit laden with gifts in hand. Another telltale sign is the high demand for luxury items when the National People's Congress convenes, despite official claims of public servants earning merely $30,000 per year. Even politicians like former Prime Minister Wen Jiabao have suspiciously accumulated immense wealth, despite coming from humble backgrounds. In conclusion, Chinese political institutions exert heavy control over multiple aspects of life. Nonetheless, the Chinese population continues to pursue autonomy and strive to make their own choices, challenging the system. China's evolving Me generation. In the past, the Chinese typically identified themselves according to their affiliations with families and work collectives, often using we instead of I in older popular songs. However, the younger generations born since the 1980s, known as China's Me generation, display a strong sense of individualism. They prioritize personal experiences and often seek to make their own choices. This shift is evident in the success of Han Han's personal and individualistic novel, Triple Door. The change is likely fueled by increased access to higher education, the internet, and the ability to start their own enterprises. Additionally, the Me generation no longer adheres to traditional arranged marriages, opting for more personal choice in life partners through platforms like Zheyuan, a massive online dating site. Despite this newfound freedom in personal choices, 98% of Chinese women still enter into heterosexual marriages. Reviving faith in modern China. In contemporary China, a weasel spotted in one's home is considered an omen of impending wealth, whereas in the past, admitting to such superstitions could have been disastrous. As China evolved into a communist nation, the government actively sought to annihilate various religious belief systems that were prevalent before 1966. With the onset of Mao's Cultural Revolution, religious practices were severely suppressed, and sacred symbols were destroyed. Surprisingly, Mao Zedong became a revered, almost godlike figure to fill the spiritual vacuum. His Little Red Book of Quotes was touted to have mystical qualities. After Mao's death in 1976, a longing for spirituality led to the resurgence and proliferation of beliefs and cults. Consequently, some Chinese now practice multiple faiths simultaneously, to ensure they've covered all their bases.
In the end, Age of Ambition sheds light on the complexities of the modern Chinese landscape and the intricate relationship between its economic growth, social reality, and authoritarian governance. The challenges of income disparity and civil rights abuses represent pressing concerns, while the rise of the Me generation, internet-based dissent, and China's struggle for spiritual fulfillment offer a glimpse into the ongoing transformation of Chinese society. This book captures the multifaceted nature of China's phenomenal rise, offering invaluable insight into the powerhouse nation as it navigates the delicate balance between its newfound economic might and old-world governance.